How much time till we're on?
We're on, Ron.
What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Blues House. This is Blues News, man, where we take that deep dive into the heart of entertainment, urban pop culture. I am Bluminati. I'm going to guide you through today's hottest headlines, some thought-provoking takes. Now, hopefully you're here for some good stuff, man. Hopefully you're here for the latest celebrity gossip or a fresh perspective on societal trends in hip-hop and blurred culture. And if so, you in the right place, man. Let's get started. Welcome to the house. So today on the docket today, we're going to talk a little Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, in regards to his case being dismissed. Talk about this, what is it? Black Captain America, the Captain America Brave New World joint. We're going to talk about that. And we also going to talk a little bit about Drake and Kendrick, man. I want to do a little, you know what I'm saying, little talking about that. And I might do something even broader on the Drake Kendrick thing later on this week. I might just, you know what I'm saying, maybe. So let's get started today with Jigga. Get started with Jigga, man. So his case was dismissed, man. When it comes to this, it was always a shaky situation when I heard this, you know, and I understand the whole thing about the victims, believing the victims, but sometimes you gotta call BS on some things, especially when you hear the story and stuff don't add up. Now, that don't necessarily mean that victim is lying, but it gives you the opportunity to take a step back, right? From certain things. Sometimes you got to take that step back. You can still support the victim, but sometimes you got to take a step back, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I don't think this case should have ever been brought up in the first place. These sexual assault allegations against Jay-Z, they lacked the evidence, and it just seemed real baseless. It seems Tony Busby, who was the Jane Doe's lawyer, was just out to try to get a bag from Jay-Z, Diddy, and this unnamed third party who was a female, right? Seemed like they were just trying to get the bag, man. That from the start, the case was on shaky ground. Allegations, they were serious. Like, it's no laughing matter. It was serious, but they lacked like the necessary evidence to me from what we gathered, from what we saw to hold up in court. When that Jane Doe, when she went on that ABC exclusive interview, man, and how inconsistent and how vague the statements were, it just weakened the case. You know what I'm saying? For me, it just made the case hella weak, man. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to break down why this case was flawed from the beginning and why it was probably ultimately dismissed, right? The lack of evidence. Let's start there. Lack of evidence. Now, when you bring a case of this magnitude, of this stature, you know what I'm saying, against a public figure like Jay-Z, you got to have concrete evidence. Concrete. Something. Physical proof, eyewitness testimony, at least a compelling story. You know what I'm saying? A consistent narrative. It's got to be believable. You coming at somebody, I mean, really anybody, anytime something like this should happen, you got to have those things involved. If those things don't add up and don't match up, you know what I'm saying, you really can't do that. But from just listening to it from the start, it was holes and gaps in the story, in the case. Just didn't make sense. Nothing of it made sense. You know what I'm saying? The reports indicated there was no forensic evidence, right? Nothing of physical, nothing. No evidence there. And I know it's old. I know this was when the Jane Doe was allegedly 2013, back in I forgot what it was, 2000, what was it, 4 or 5? They said this is supposedly happened. But so you had no forensic evidence, nothing physical. There was no corroborating witnesses. The one witness who would be able to, or actually it would have been two. The two witnesses who would corroborate was the friend who took her to the VMAs. She's passed on. She's gone on to the elders and the ancestors or whatnot. And then the father. The father said he don't even remember what. That didn't happen, ain't. No, I've never done that. He said, I've never done that at all. I would have remembered driving five hours this way and 5 hours back. Right? Timeline of the events was murky. Well, what happened when they start placing the time and moving this way, that way, how long it takes to get from here to there? And you got to take into account traffic and changing of clothes and to get here, displaced on, just wasn't adding up. And in this case, the burden of proof was never met. It was never met, right? And the interview, this is to keep this going, the interview to me is what really laid everything out on the table. That interview really, really, really laid everything out on the table, right? So one of the biggest turning points in this whole thing is when she went and did that interview on ABC. Now, instead of providing some type of clarity, the interview raised even more doubts, right? Raised even more doubts. I mean, come on, man. You on national TV going up against Jay-Z, and your story is sounded bad. Didn't make no sense. None whatsoever. She struggled to provide like concrete details. Sometimes the responses seemed rehearsed, but they was inconsistent. Like how you got notes, but then you overtalk your notes or talk like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like it was rehearsed, but it wasn't. And I mean, did the lawyer even sit down with her before she went and did the interview? Did the lawyer sit down, did Tony Busby sit down with Jane Doe and say, hey, this is how we're going to, you know, the questions is to ask, here's a list of things and topics, stay on this, stay on these topics. Did he do that? Because it seemed like she was just in a freestyle. Seemed like she was just in a freestyle. And you know, the YouTube legal community, the law tube, you know what I'm saying? They started analyzing her statements. And I don't, not to say that you know what I'm saying, the YouTube law community is, I mean, some are lawyers and some aren't, but they are, to me, for me, a good barometer when looking at legal cases. So I go to them. But they started pointing out contradictions. Things that weakened her credibility, right? She was getting cooked left and right. Left and right, she was getting cooked. And how the media handled the case, very, very questionable. Very questionable. Sensationalized headlines. They do this, though. They do this, especially to us black men, right? To us black men, they're going to sensationalize the headlines. You know how we covered the Jonathan Major story. And if it wasn't for us covering that Jonathan Major story and getting out the actual truth of what was going on behind those courtroom doors, what was really going on in court, people, how they was painting him and what the headlines and the bylines and the story was saying when it came to Jonathan Majors, they do the same thing here. And they always do that. That's how the media do. Especially if it's a black man up there. Sensationalized these headlines, man. Drove the story forward without giving any type of attention to the lack of proof. You read the article, they don't bring up stuff like that. Watch the news tape, they don't bring up stuff like that. how it seemed shaky. There was no proof. She didn't have a lick of proof. That's the crazy thing. How you bring this up? You don't have a lick of proof. Nothing. You didn't have a picture. I took a picture of the VMAs with a Kodak camera from back in the day to at least show that you was there. Did you sign your name on a piece of paper? Did you check in anywhere? Nothing. No proof. How did this go forward? That's the bad thing. How did this even go forward, man? How did this go forward? Now, we in an era where public opinion shapes legal battles. Everything is fault. I mean, and it's always been like that. Public opinion shapes legal battles. You know, you'll see lawyers come out there and parade their client around for sympathy and stuff like that. But it's really, really at an all-time high now because of social media, because how fast news can travel, right? News can travel in the blink of an eye because of social media. All I got to do is make a post, type it up, and boom, it's out there worldwide. You know? So it's what I would present is when doing these things, even if you're an independent journalist, you have to separate emotion from facts. Or if you're doing an op-ed piece, you can write with emotion, but you have to ladle it with facts. It's got to throw the facts in there. You can still feel how you feel. You can still have those emotions, but throw the facts in there. Let people know that, hey, this, and this is going on, though. But I still feel such and such. You can do that. So you got to separate emotion from facts. You got to. Because that ABC interview, it was a clear indication that there was no factual foundation in nothing she said. After watching that interview, to me, whoever was the judge presiding over that case should have banged that gal pop, and called it a day. No, sir. What? Come on, man. Come on. You got to get stuff like that out of here. This is what I ain't even gonna go there. You just got to get stuff like that out of here. Because it's when stuff like that happens, man, it is dangerous. False accusations are dangerous. It's a critical issue. It's a false or unproven allegations, especially in these high-profile cases. It's real dangerous, real destructive. Because you bringing the allegation is the guilty verdict already in public opinion. Now I'm losing money, endorsements, yada, yada, yada. Might get fired. All from an accusation. I ain't even been found guilty of nothing, but I just lost all my livelihood because of this accusation. These things are serious, man. You can't just be bringing allegations up and not vetting them. And this is not me talking to the victims. If you're a victim of something, bring it up. If something really happened to you, bring it up. Go get your lawyer. If you're going to sue, go get your lawyer. Go to the police. Go where, you know what I'm saying? Go do what needs to be done. But if it's false, man. Because the thing is, they don't just harm the person who's being accused. It hurts the real survivors, the real victims. Especially in this this is high profile. So this gets out there, and then the people of the world, they mind get, you know what I'm saying? They start thinking about, oh, they just in it for the bag. Oh, she just trying to get his money. Especially when they suing with these civil suits. Especially when they suing with these civil suits, because it's not criminal. So it seems like you just out to get the money. Cases cases being brought up like these, it can distract and take away from legitimate claims, legitimate people who got hurt, and create unnecessary division in the conversations that be had in the justice system, in accountability, in relationships, all types of things. Y'all, if you was following this case, you saw the discourse that was out there surrounding Jay-Z. Now that he's had this dismissed, he's suing. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Nah, you messed up," because it not like I said, it didn't only just hurt him; it hurt his family. His daughter had a premiere for Mufasa. Did that hurt the Mufasa premiere? Did it hurt her because it trickled down from him to her? Father to daughter, you know what I'm saying? Having a bad aura around you, a cloud on you like that, being placed on you with an alleged false allegation, that goes to everything. That spreads out. It spreads out. At the end of the day, to me, this case should have never been brought into the light without the proof to bring it to light. The fact that it made the headlines and the rounds with so little evidence speaks to a bigger issue to me. As I come into this journalism thing, and I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, be this independent journalist that I am and give y'all the things that I want to give y'all, it's crazy how media outlets push certain narratives without scrutiny. They push it without checking and double checking to make sure they got the facts straight. Because they just want to be first. That's the thing. They want to be first. Instead of wanting to be right and getting the facts out there, they want to be first. Oh, I got the first click. I'm good. We good now. We Gucci. To me, it ain't about being first. It's about being right. It's about supplying the people with the right information so they know how to take from it and move accordingly. So, yeah, I want to applaud Jay-Z for getting this case dismissed. That, like I said, it should have never been brought out. I don't know what effect this will have on Diddy, because he was also named in this, even though now that the whole case is dismissed with prejudice, was mean it's can't be filed anymore. You can't bring that back. You can't come back later and try to bring this back up. It's dismissed with prejudice because there was not enough there. Regardless of how I feel about P. Diddy, I do think there's a lot of fake claims on his name right now. Think a lot of people just trying to eat off of certain things we did. We still haven't I haven't seen any evidence when it comes to, and I'm not saying this that I support Diddy, because we did see him, what he did to Cassie. We saw that. We saw that live and in monochrome, right? But all of this other stuff, I'm still waiting on the evidence. I know it's a federal case, but it's crazy that it's a one-man RICO. That's crazy to me. A one-man RICO is wild. But is what it is, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about Jay-Z having his case dismissed. Let me know how y'all feel about sensationalized headlines without facts. Sensational headlines without facts. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Let's continue this thing, man. Let's continue this thing. What we got next up? Producers, what's next up? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Kendrick and Drake. Now, we know Drake just recently dropped SS for You. I forgot what it's called. his R&B album with Party. I listened to some Sexy Songs for You. That's what it's called. I listened to majority of the album. It's a long 21 songs. It's a drag of an album, and I'm not here to do a review on this album, man. But it's a chore. It's a chore listening to it. And I'm not saying this to be biased against Drake. I actually like Drake. He's not my favorite artist or anything, but I like Drake. You know what I'm saying? So I can be objective in this, but that just didn't do it. But I want to take a little time and talk about this Kendrick versus Drake situation. Like, to me, it's the battle for the soul of hip hop. Right? To me, it's the battle for the soul of hip hop, man. This ain't just a regular rap beef. To me, this is, like I said, this is for the essence, the soul. What does hip hop stand for? It ain't about just about these diss tracks and going back to back. This is kind of, to me, it's the authenticity of an individual, whether it's Drake or Kendrick, and the industry, right? Artistry versus accessibility. Then we also talking about legacy. That's why, to me, it's a battle for the soul of hip hop. This battle is taking a mirror and holding it up against hip hop culture. Actual hip hop culture, not just fly by night general audience. Oh, I like Drake. I like no, the actual people who are involved in hip hop culture. Somebody like myself, probably somebody like you who are listening to or watching this video. The soul of it. I was born in the 80s. I got to witness a lot of early hip hop. I got to witness the boycotting of hip hop. That's crazy. A lot of people don't understand hip hop has come from a long way. Parents telling you, oh, turn that off, it's crap. We don't listen to rap music. No rap music can be played here. Yeah, people don't even know about stuff like that. So it's about authenticity versus industry dominance, artistry versus accessibility, and legacy. That's what we're talking about. And I think that's the reason why Kendrick takes home the crown. You know what I'm saying? It's the champ. That's why. Now, why exactly does this battle matter? Hip hop always been built on competition, man. KRS-One, MC Shan, Jay-Z and Nas, Biggie and Pac, NWA and Cube, Dre and Eazy-E. The list goes on, man. Master P and the Loonies. A lot of people don't know that. 50 Cent, Ja Rule. It's about competition. It's always been about who's the best MC. Who's the best MC? That's something that we need to take account to. Who is the best MC? Not the best hit maker. Who is the best MC? Who is actually getting up here and telling the story? Who is making me look at you and not bopping, but just being entranced by what you got to say? Who is doing that? It just seems in these recent years that everything has shifted in this genre, man. Everything has moved. Streaming numbers, social media, cloud, corporate influence diluted the essence of what hip hop is, especially when it comes to competition, competing. Everybody runs to the streams now. Oh, such and such streams this. Everybody looking for social media clout or trying to get next to the hottest streamer, YouTuber, or whatever. Everybody want that corporate stamp on them. That's what made this battle so significant, so pivotal. I always add a B to that for some reason. Pivotal in this situation, man. It takes me back, and it makes me really think about what hip hop roots are, where the roots are in hip hop, like lyricism, storytelling, being your authentic self, being you up on that stage. Back in the day, he sold out. I remember when they used to talk about Hammer sold out. Oh, Hammer sold out. That was a big thing back in the day. That was early 90s. Oh, you biting my style. You see how everybody sounds the same now? Back in the day, hell no. You didn't want to sound like Young Thug or whoever. T.I. You know what I'm saying? They say you was biting. Why you sound like LL? Why you sound like Snoop? Why you sound like... That wasn't a good thing. Now it's, we're looking for that Young Thug sound. We're looking for that Future sound. We're looking for this. We're looking for that. This is what's hot now. Drill is hot. Do a drill record. To me, in this battle, Kendrick represented what the ideal pure rapper was. Meticulous with his words. Intentional with his schemes and themes. Right? He was carrying the weight of hip-hop history in his music. Even in these diss songs he was doing. Think about what we saw in To Pimp a Butterfly, where he fused jazz with the narrative of Black identity. Beautifully crafted piece, you know what I'm saying? Musical masterpiece of an album. Then we get to Damn, where it's everything seems it's got a layered meaning and some storytelling, a double entendre, a triple, quadruple, as the homie Drake would say, entendre. Mr. Morale, where he takes the mirror out, looks at himself and says, these are my faults. And these are the things that I need to do to fix them. I want y'all to see that I am not your savior. I'm not him. I'm regular like you. These are the things that I do. I do the same things you do. It's just, I'm trying to be better. I'm working on myself to be better. You should too. You should too. You should work on yourself to also be better. That's what Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers was about. Seemed like all his albums had, was themed, was storytelling. It was a lot of things that's missing to me in hip hop. Even with his new album, this GNX album. This was let me show you K-Dot. Not Kendrick Lamar. Let me show you the rapper in me, the real rapper. He makes statements all the time, man. Then we got Drake. Biggest commercial artist of our time. The master of the reinvent and accessibility. All over the place. Drake being who he is, he dominated the charts for over a decade, right? Drake is the guy who blurs the lines, rap, pop, R&B. As most Def say, he's target music. Good mall shopping music. Look at all these SKUs. And you might take that as good or bad. You might say, oh, you dissing him by saying that. But no, that's just what he was. Or what he is, I should say. Let's take it back. Think about Hotline Bling and I Need a One Dance. Think about stuff like that. That showcased how great Drake was to be able to cross genres like that. Like, I'm not saying these things to take anything away from Drake. God's plan. Major mass appeal with all these records. Cross demographics. This makes him the ultimate hit maker, man. Ultimate hit maker. But it don't make him the ultimate rapper. Don't make him the ultimate rapper. Because when it comes to hip hop as a competitive sport, which is what this battle was about and what it turned into, Kendrick, he just took it. He took it and ran with it. And it was like Drake couldn't keep up because I don't think he knew how to keep up. Kendrick just, everything he did, it cut deeper, man. Hit harder. He had a lasting impact. Everything he did, from his rhyme skills, his you know what I'm saying? It reminded me of like Tupac, Rakim, Nas, all of that. Cultural weight. Kendrick just, it's like everything. He was the lyrics. He had the coach behind him, like he said. His words held weight in the streets. It was the intellectual people was talking about it. The hip hop purists was talking about it. The regular everyday go buyers was talking about how Kendrick was doing. He had the momentum and the precision of what he was doing. And I think he had that because he doesn't flood the game like Drake does. He gives the audience an opportunity to miss it. So when he comes through, he's surgical with that shit. What Denzel said on Training Day, I'm surgical with this shit, Drake. Or Jake, I'm sorry. And it seemed when he come and he drop it, if he's featured on something, that verse, people talk about that verse. Whether it's the Control verse, the joint on Baby Keem, what he said, or the Beyonce verse he gave Beyonce, the Like That verse, which kind of, if you know, kind of started or catapulted this whole thing into the forefront. And he was authentic. And I think he cares about the legacy, what he's leaving behind when he's gone. What he want people to talk about when it comes to him and his legacy. And that's the biggest, to me, the biggest battle for Drake was credibility. It was, you know what I'm saying? Drake didn't make it hard for Kendrick to come at whatever angle he wanted to because he wasn't credible. Drake was not credible as far as what he represented, how he represented, who he was. Drake had a lot of chinks in his authenticity armor, whether it was about his ghostwriting, his upbringing, where he was from. And he was the industry darling. Seemed like he was getting all the pushes. Right? What really showed his skirt, what really made people pick up on his skirt was that Pusha T beef. Because see, he thought he was on top of the world. He came at Meek Mill and he won. He won. Meek Mill played right into his game and he won. Drake won. But Pusha T came through with that story I had done, and that's when people looked at Drake a little side-eyed. That reputation took a little hit. Quentin Miller with the ghostwriting allegations. The personal issues, the hiding the child. And Drake never really addressed these certain things. He just kept going, oh, I'm Drake, I'm the biggest thing. I can just keep moving. I would, you know what I'm saying? To go back, I would say people should go back and listen to what Joe Budden did to Drake, because Joe Budden and Drake got into it. And if Joe Budden was the Joe Budden of today, I think it would have been a dismantling of Drake by Joe Budden. Because Joe Budden really got in Drake's behind with the songs that he dropped. But that's a story for a different time. To get back to this, hip-hop love, that's another thing too. Hip-hop loves an underdog, man. They love underdog. And right now, that's what it's about. It's about the underdog. It's about those who work for something. It's about true authenticity. It's about trying. Let me say that again. It is about trying. That's what this new, I think coming 2025, that's what it's about. Try your best. So that's what Kendrick did. Kendrick went out and tried, and he won. He put his best foot forward. He didn't let the industry dictate on what to do. He didn't use AI. He didn't use something to help him out. He just gave you him true 100% authentic Kendrick Lamar. That's what you got. And Kendrick is being viewed as a real artist who's fighting against the corporate machine. That's just how it looks. It looks like that. Now, that don't necessarily mean that Drake is finished or he's done. Drake is huge. He's too big for that, man. You can't just write him off like that. But if he want to shift the momentum, if he want to get the things back going, he can't do what he did with this Sexy Songs for You. Because that's not getting it back. That sounds like old records. And it's not addressing really the situation of what's going on. See, Drake think that what happened is just going to wash off of him. Because he's so big. He think I'm just sitting on this mountaintop. And what Kendrick did don't matter. Because I'm Drake. Hate to tell you, bro. Ain't looking good for you. Ain't looking good for you. Already a 50% or close to a 50% drop in listeners for that Sexy Songs for You album. Kendrick has reclaimed the top spot after that album dropped. So what is going on? Like, what can Drake do? He got to drop a true rap album. One thing that's what he got to do. I know they say Drake need to come back and give something for the summer, yada. He needs to drop a pure true rap album. No pop songs, no melodic hooks, just bars. I don't care if it's an EP. 6 songs, 8 songs of bars. Bars to get that hip-hop respect back. He got to show the world that, yeah, I can rap on an elite level. Matter of fact, that rap album should be themed. It should be a themed album. It shouldn't just be him making an album. It's got to be a themed album. Got to be a themed album. Gritty. With a concept to it. Maybe some narration in it, some skits. Got to go back to them hungry days. The comeback season, so far gone days when he seemed like he had something to prove. Because it seems now that hunger has been replaced by comfort. He's too comfortable out here. He got to tap back into that, having that chip on the shoulder like when he first came out. He might stand a chance doing something like that. He really got to get ahead on these ghostwriting allegations. He got to. I know he got to be tired of people questioning his pen. He got to be tired of that. But in hip hop, it's about credibility. It's about authenticity. And you just didn't do that. You still not doing that. You still not taking the time to take a step back and see what just happened, how the culture shifted on you. And K-Dot ain't doing nothing but making you look hella suspect with it. You need no co-writers, no industry hooks, just you. That can go a long way, man. Last but not least, I don't know. If he feels like he still needs to address this beef, he got to make a diss song worthy of solidifying or addressing this beef. He need, or you know, he don't need. He just need to make an album where he addresses everything and call it a day. That's what he do. That's what he needs to do. Now, for me, at the end of the day, this battle is bigger than these two artists. To me, it's about what hip hop values. That's what this battle is about. Is there going to be a changing of the guard? Are we going to see people now more intrigued with lyricism, storytelling, actual artistry? Are we going to get that? Or are we going to go back to just about commercial success and social media clout and strippers not wanting to dance with a Bible in their hand and things like that? Are we just going to go back to pacification? Is that what we want? Matter of fact, let me ask y'all that. Do you want pacification? Do you want to be pacified? To me, every now and then, even if you are a party type person, every now and then, give me something of substance. Give me something of substance. That's it. I mean, you don't have to, your whole album ain't got to be that, but give me something of substance. And this ain't necessarily towards Drake. This is for any and everybody who's doing things like that. Give me something of substance mixed in there. Give me a moment. I need one of them moments where I'm rubbing this gray. Oh, okay. Give me one of them. Because this battle, it seems to me, it done already shifted the culture, man. Younger fans, they diving into lyricism again, it seems. They want to do the knowledge. People dissecting bars. Like back in the day during my era, we used to have hip-hop quotables in the Source magazine. They need to do that again. Media outlets who cover hip-hop, only hip-hop. Do hip-hop quotables. Bring hip-hop quotables. Bring stuff like that back. Verse of the year. That within itself is a win. Not just for me, but it's a win for hip-hop, man. It's a win for hip-hop. Now, y'all know why I stand on this side of the beef. K-Dot, Kendrick Duckworth Lamar, put on a masterclass in what he did. I remember the early day. I was telling people, he don't want to see Kendrick. He don't want to see it. And people are like, oh, Drake gonna get him. I was like, y'all just don't know who this dude is, do y'all? Did y'all not hear that Control verse? Did y'all not see the BET Cypher freestyle? Has Drake been in the BET Cypher? That's another. Drake hasn't done it to me. And this could be a reason why, but he hasn't even done the things on the wrong, you know what I'm saying, to get to where he just, and they put him up there. Now, he ran with his crew. He ran with Young Money. He did that. But as far as being in the ciphers, showing up and doing the freestyles and things of that nature. The one video I seen him, he was trying to read off the BlackBerry. That just looked nasty when he was trying to free. That was nasty work. Nasty work. I think Kendrick's victory is sealed, signed, and delivered. But y'all let me know, do y'all think Drake still has a chance to flip the script? Can Drake come back? Even after dropping this lukewarm Sexy Songs for You album. Because I don't think it's gonna do what he expects it to do. Do you think he can flip the script and make a comeback? Leave the comments. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Next up, oh yeah, let's talk this Captain America. Let's talk this Captain America, man. Cap. Ooh, let's talk old Cap. Crazy, right? Captain America, man. Brave New World, as I like to call him. Captain Black America. Captain African America. Let me stop. This movie, I think, sent mixed signals and things to especially us in the Black community. From a Black American perspective, I think there is a struggle with the shield, right? The shield and the struggle, right? Black identity in this. What representation is. Black history. We start looking at things like that when, or at least I do, when it comes to this movie, to this film. Marvel officially crowned Sam Wilson as the new Captain America. You know, they did it in the comics. You know, so I guess they had to try to bring that to fruition here on the big screen in the MCU. Sam Wilson is the new Cap. This film been a long time coming, man. But did it stick the landing? Did it do what it was supposed to do? Or did it fumble this historic moment for Black representation? Did it take a couple steps back? Did it do that? I want to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly of this film. You know what I'm saying? Get my perspective on it. So it's a lot to really unpack. So let's get into the good, man. First and foremost, Anthony Mackie stepping up as Captain America is a monumental moment. He gets his own leading movie. He becomes the leading man, right? Full circle moment from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where he wrestled with the weight of the shield and what it meant to be a Black man wearing the red, white, and blue. And that's a good narrative. That's a good story. To me, they didn't do enough in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but that is a good place to be at. The struggle of being a Black man rocking the red, white, and blue, right? That's a good place to be in. Some things to appreciate when it comes to Sam as Captain America is he wasn't just copy and paste Steve Rogers. So that's a good thing. They didn't just give him this. I know we were saying he should have the serum and stuff, but him not having the serum kind of is a decent good thing, because that means he's not just the Black Steve Rogers, so to speak. He gets to be his own person, even though he's in somebody else's shoes. He at least gets to be his own person, right? He gets to rely on his certain skill set that he has, his knowledge, his wit, and just who he is as a person. That's what he's bringing to the game as Captain America, right? Which is it's a powerful, when you look at it, it's a powerful statement to be that type of hero and dealing with these type of stakes as said hero with no powers. You know what I'm saying? To try to show that it's not just about being strong and having superhuman strength or whatever, but it's about being a leader. You know, it's about your moral compass, your conviction, your resilience, what to do when knocked down. Do you get back up? So that, to me, that was a good part when it comes to Sam being capped. Now I'm gonna get into the bad, but I'm just saying those are the good things. And this isn't me championing that, because I still think I would rather have had a Falcon movie. But like I said, I'm gonna give you these good things. We got Carl Lumley back as Isaiah Bradley. That's a good thing. Now, if you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know his story was one very emotional story. Him being basically the first Captain America. Well, from the comics, if you know, experimented on, given the super soldier serum, fought in the wars for America. Then they locked him up to do more experiments on him. It's kind of basically a reflection on what America's real life history is when it comes to Black Americans, right? An erased chapter in the life of Black soldiers and things of that nature, who was experimented on, forgotten, discarded. That's what Isaiah Bradley represents. I think they need more of that. We need to expand. I think Sam Wilson's whole thing should be about that. His whole thing should be about that. Right? Lean into that. Because that's what it is. Isaiah's character is a reflection of America and its history. So bringing him back was a good thing in Brave New World. At least the smallest smidgen, they at least want to still showcase a little bit of the racial history within its own history universe in the MCU. But how did they handle that small smidgen, that little piece of racial history? How did they handle that? They handled that poorly. They handled it bad. This is where we get to the bad of the movie, because it had the potential for a deep, complex story here, but Marvel did not deliver. They did not deliver on that. And one of the biggest criticisms on the film is they played it too safe. This was a cookie cutter MCU film. Uninspired. Just a filler movie. And I know you might say, damn, Blue, that's what it is. I'm not calling it trash. I don't think the movie was trash. But it was microwavable. This was a microwave dinner. This was like a hungry man microwave dinner. Like on the box, it looked like you about to get this dope meal, mashed potatoes, and you got the what it is, the steak. You know what I'm saying? With the gravy on it. The country fried steak with the gravy on it, mashed potatoes, you got the corn. On the box, it looks good. But then you put it in the microwave, you take it out, it's still cold in the middle of the mashed potatoes. The corn is hard pepper. Country fried steak is nasty. They won't go deep enough. They just reluctant for some reason to really go deep with the messaging when it comes to race and power dynamics. And I think this was the perfect place to do that. And they dropped the ball. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced certain themes: government mistrust, systemic racism, what legacy means to a person. They introduce it just to back away. They'll show you that, hey, it's on our mind, but they're not really going to do the deep dive that they should do when it comes to stuff like this. Don't introduce those things and back away. This is the perfect opportunity to make the bold statements. Look at what Kendrick Lamar just did at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's the perfect opportunity to start showcasing some of these things. Brave New World ain't no different. No different. Sam should have, his biggest struggle should have been navigating the reality of being the Black Captain America. And it should have showed the division between America, because it is, I hate to say it, a black man carrying this red, white, and blue shield. They should still lean. I know they tried it in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This was another place to keep that narrative going. How does the public really react? Some people might give him a high five. Some people might look at him in disgust. That should be brought up. He should talk about things like that. Is he truly embraced? In the movie, we had a scene where he was at the bar and the dude was like, "Oh no, Cap, your money's no good here." That's dope. We should have had another scene where somebody, you know what I'm saying, talk to him like, "You not my Cap." It's like the film hinted at these things, but they just didn't want to fully explore them. And this is where it really saddens me that they don't do it. Instead, they just pivot back to MCU style action and, you know, to conventional story, superhero trope, yada, yada, yada. This is when you take the chance. It's Captain America. You take the chance now. Taking the chance ain't making a black man Captain America. Taking the chance is telling the story about a black man being Captain America. Now let's talk about who Sam was up against, man. That is Thunderbolt Ross, played by the great Harrison Ford, right? Major role. But the thing is, in this movie, they were trying to make him more sympathetic. The movie, if you as you watch the movie, the reoccurring theme for him was how he was rehabilitated. They called him the Hulk Hunter, right? But they were showing him being rehabilitated. But guess what? He was questioned on these things. He was the one who was having the struggle with being who he was, being the president. How you go from this to this? That should have been Sam's story. Or they should have ran parallel. They humanized Ross. Humanized him. Sympathy. Even though he's been the bad guy in previous films, he's been the antagonist in previous films. This one we're going to humanize him. Yet and still we got Sam, the black man, taking up the Captain America mantle, who has to constantly prove himself worthy. To me, that double standard in storytelling is real familiar, all too familiar when we talk about real world racial dynamics. How the media perceives a black man versus how the media perceives a white man. Anthony Mackie or Sam has to earn the Stars and Stripes. Harrison Ford's character, that is Thunderbolt Ross, just is the president. Didn't have to earn it, just is the president. Sam can't just be Captain America. You got to earn it. Which is a compelling story if done right. Because it does mirror racial dynamics in the real world. Now let's get to the ugly. Let's get into the ugly of this joint. One of the biggest challenges that faces this movie, just even within its own plot, is the real world political climate surrounding it. And I think that was one of the reasons why it was pushed back and why it was rewritten and retooled and retweaked, is because it had so many real world political narratives involved in it. Right now, we know from the moment Sam got this shield in Endgame, it was gonna be some type of resistance. Soon as they said, "Oh, he gonna be," we knew it was gonna be some resistance from a certain demographic of people. And I think I would have leaned into that in my storytelling, right? Comic book fans had previously rejected the idea of a Black Captain America in the comics, but they pushed it because he was Captain America in the comics once. He threw the shield down and said, "Nah, F that. I'm going back to being me, because Captain America is not me. I am Falcon." And I think that's dope. I think maybe they do that later on. I don't know. But I think that's dope. But then in the comics, he becomes Captain America again. And now we got two Captain Americans running around. Why? I don't know. But that's what they wanted to do. For MCU synergy is what a lot of people, say what goes on in the comics or what's going on in the movies. We translate it into the comics and vice versa. Right? Social media, not my cap. That ain't the Captain America. So we're getting those arguments, those things like that. And to me, Marvel knew that was coming. Marvel knew that was coming out. With this movie, it's still yet to be determined if it's going to be successful or not. But in my opinion, Marvel kind of set this movie up to fail. Reality is a Black man stepping out in this traditional patriotic role is inherently political already. So you already being politically motivated with this movie, you might as well explain your political motivations. Right? Or dissect them or get down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to it. And that brings me to a bigger question. Is Marvel afraid of making white audiences uncomfortable? Even after what the success of the first Black Panther movie, it seems to me Marvel still doesn't know what to do with their Black characters. They still don't know how to write them correctly. They still don't know how to bring them forward. They're still scared to lean into Blackness. Marvel, Blackness sells, baby. Blackness sells. It hits all quadrants if done right. You get the haters. They gonna hate watch it and talk about it. Women love it. Tall, dark, and handsome. That term didn't just come out of the blue. The men want to be like them. The kids look up to them. You can get all that if you do it correctly, if done right. Come on, Marvel, think about it. Y'all had the opportunity to really explore America's complicated relationship with Black identity and heroism. This was y'all chance. Y'all missed it. Instead of leaning in, y'all want to shy away from it. Back away. Try to present this film as neutral as possible. The thing about it, being neutral can seem like you're trying to avoid the situation. Neutrality seems like avoidance. It can be taken as that. Like I said, think Black Panther, for example. Let's bring it up again. Black Panther, recast the child. That film was bold. It was unapologetically Black. It made cultural and political statements. No fear of backlash. It just did what it did. And Brave New World seems to be hesitant of doing that, of making the splash that it could make the waves that it could make, that affect the way people view things, the representation that we talk about all day long, every day on certain channels. The homies on YouTube who bring up representation. Me being a heavily melanated Black man, I would love to see that pervade on screen. Because I go through it. I was in the military. I consider myself patriotic. And I know what it feels like to want to wave the red, white, and blue flag while also being true to your Blackness in America. I get it. I understand that. Lean into that, Marv. We want to see that. Let people understand that so we get some understanding, some common ground. So now you know what it feels like to be who I am in America. Y'all played it too clean, man. Too neutral. Too vanilla. Now, as we get into the movie, we can talk about what the critics are saying. Rotten Tomatoes, I think, is right now 50-some%. Audiences, I think, are loving or higher. I think they're in the 70s or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But the people are saying that it lacks identity. It's overstuffed. Me saying, I would say, is this even a Captain America movie, or is this just the Incredible Hulk part 2? Is this the spinoff of the Incredible Hulk? It's heavy on exposition. It's more of a setup film, I think. This just a bridge film, and it shouldn't be. Captain America movies aren't bridge films to me. Ant-Man is a bridge film. That whole franchise was a bridge film up until the last one. They tried to make it a movie of substance, of substantial degree, and I think that's where they messed up at. Some movies are made to be bridge movies, and that's cool. Shang-Chi, I think, is a bridge movie. Even Doctor Strange, both of his movies, bridge movies. Anthony Mackie did it. He's solid with what he did, right? It's just they didn't give him, to me, the script that's needed to really showcase his acting, to have that powerful emotional moment. Remember when Queen Ramonda got up there in Black Panther, the second film that shall not be named, and she got up there and she gave that speech? Because of that speech, she was Oscar nominated, really. I think it was because of that speech. And I know we got the speech at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's not the speech. I need one of them powerful speeches that just really make you really think. Really make you sit back and it showcases the acting chops of said actor. But we didn't get that emotional depth, and that right there is the real issue. Brave New World had the chance to be groundbreaking, truly cement, truly push, double down, push the line for Sam Wilson as this different type of Captain America, but representing America the way he's supposed to represent America. Represent America for how he represents America. Instead, they played it safe to the, we got the typical Marvel formula, the big action, some slight political undertones that don't go deep enough, setting up a future movie with an end credit scene, yada yada yada. We got all that, but they didn't go deep enough. So where do we go from here? Let's to wrap it all up. My final thoughts. Like I said, I didn't want to necessarily review this movie. I know I put up their review. This is more so just a social breakdown of it from like a Black American perspective, not really giving anything away when it comes to the movie. But as Black audiences, we got to keep demanding more in all facets of life. Got to keep demanding more, man. Representation is just not about taking a Black actor and throwing him in a superhero suit, especially when it's already a suit that was prior worn by a white man. It's not that. It's about telling our stories authentically with depth and honesty and real gravitas, real the tone of what is befitting, what I'm saying, when it comes to Black audiences. Legacy, cementing something. So the next time this story is told, that name is still inscribed in said stone. Right? You can't erase it. Now we cement it in. Because the thing is, on a reboot, Sam ain't gonna be Captain America. Sam is gonna end up being Falcon. That's one of the reasons why I would rather him be Falcon, because the legend of Falcon can go way further than the legend of Sam Wilson as Captain America. Because when the reboot happens or whatever, we're gonna get Captain America back. We're gonna get Steve Rogers back as Captain America, because he is Captain America. So if Marvel really wants to sell us on Sam Wilson as Captain America, they need to let him be Captain America. Hate to say it. He's got to be on his own terms, in his own voice and actions and the struggles that come with him being Captain America. That's the only way you can sell it to cement him in. But me, I would rather him do that as Falcon. He can still champion the patriotism and everything being Falcon. Now, at the end of the day, some people might say that Brave New World is a step forward. I'm not on that bandwagon. A lot of people see it as, oh, it is representation, yada yada. I'm not on that bandwagon. I think this is hollow representation, shallow representation. It's not the representation that's needed. But y'all let me know, what is this proper representation? Was the movie good? Did you feel that it did the things that it was supposed to do for you? Let me know what you think in the comments down below, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. That's it, man. That is it. I appreciate everybody who came and kicked it with your homie, who came to the house, man. Sat on the couch with me and just listened to me rant. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget, memberships are open if you want to become a member. Members only videos coming soon. I think I'm gonna start really opening up with some of these things, these stores and stuff. So membership is open if you want to support the channel that way. If you want to support me, you can also donate to the Cash App. That's $BLUMINATI. And check out Thursdays. Thursdays is gonna be my live streaming day. I know I've been saying it. Thursdays for sure. Thursdays is my live streaming day, in accordance with also Monday doing the Blurred AF, which is a live stream. So be on the lookout for both of those, man. But yeah, I'm out, man. So thanks for coming to the house. I hope y'all enjoyed today's insights and whatnot. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to share this thing, and don't forget to subscribe, man. For more unfiltered shenanigans by me, you can always join our community, like I said, so you can stay informed, entertained, and inspired with these memberships. But without further ado, I'm out of here. Till next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep it real. All right. Take it easy and be safe.